Skyrim, the East Empire Pendants, the locations 13 through 22, AA Gamer for Life. Okay, so in the first video, I pretty much mentioned that there's 33 of these. One location has two of them. It's going to be down in the mine. We'll be getting to that a little bit later. I believe in the first video we got all the unnamed locations in. And I also mentioned that even though this might be my second, third, or fourth time through this add-on, this is the first time I actually seeked out these pendants. And I'm only doing it for video purposes. As far as needing money, I am well set on money. I have more than I could possibly ever spend, only because there's not really to buy. The only thing that I spend money on at this point of the game are smithing materials. The first time through Skyrim, I knew that I don't know if you want to call it your level, could go up to, up over 100, or it never stops. I can't really say. I saw people that have very high levels, but when I completed the game and I did all the side stuff, or I did a lot of the side stuff, the companions, the Dawn Guard, go kill a masqueraded vampire, go kill a beast here. That stuff gets old after a bit. But anyway, I completed the game, and I was only like level 55, 56 at the end.
I was heaving
And
my
I'm like, well,
guts
how am I
for a
supposed to
week.
get up there? But the thing is I didn't really go legendary on any of my skills. And unfortunately, if you really want to get up into the higher levels, I think I'm a level 99 now or something, 98 or something. You're going to have to go legendary on your stuff. And one of the things that I remember in the first time through Skyrim was like, man, I am so glad that I got my enchantment and my smithing up to 100. Because once you get your enchantment up to 100, you can put two enchantments on one weapon, and needless to say, and also on your armor and apparel as well. That's just awesome. But the thing is like once you kind of get yourself where you like it, you don't really do anything else anymore. And I kind of thought about that when I ended Skyrim for the first time. So this little place is like the guard shack right before you leave the Ravenwood area. Or Ravenwood. So this time through Skyrim, once I got my enchantment up to 100, and then I got my smithing up to 100, and I made my dragon bone weapons and armor. I knew exactly the kind of gaming I wanted. So once you get into the temple, if this quest isn't available or you haven't done it already, you need to see the priest or whatever. He'll give you the quest. You come in here, you take out all the ash dudes, and then the crates in here. But I knew that I only like wearing the dragon. There's a lot of armor up in here, and there's a lot of cool stuff as well. The ebony mail armor, which gives off like this poison if somebody touches it. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff. There's no question about it. But gamer's choice, like my choice, I just soon stick with my dragon stuff. When you enchant your armor and apparel to the way you like it, sneak and bow and one-handed and two-handed. Like my bow does like 430 damage or something. The only arrows I use are the dragon bone arrows. Dragons are basically falling out of the sky like fireflies, so it's like I got more dragon bones than I know what to do with. And the second time through this game, I think I got like 4,000 of the dragon bone arrows. So, but my point is that when I got my weapons where I wanted them, there was no reason to keep the enchantment and my smithing at 100. So I want the enchantment. I think I've gone legendary like 7 times already. I think I'm working on my 8th time, and my smithing, it's like 5 or something. The reason why you go through so much enchantment is because my weapons, I put a lot of the soul traps on them, or my main bow. So like when I'm killing creatures, and the only thing that doesn't really seem to give you a soul are like people, but any of the animals, whatever, they all give you a soul. So I buy a lot of the empty soul gems, and I just keep like any of the enemy weapons, and the enchantment tables are all over. So I would just take all the stuff I picked off the enemies and enchanted it and sell it. That's how I wound up getting so much money. And then the same with the smithing. When I would hit a merchant, obviously like a blacksmith, I would sell off stuff, and then I would buy a lot of the smithing stuff from him, and then sell off more crap. And then when I'm at my crib, I just make a bunch of stuff, sell it, that kind of stuff. Now, the downside to that is you do invest some time in all that. You just don't, it takes some time to do all that stuff compared to where if you just left your stuff at 100, you're like, screw all that, I'm just playing this game, and which is totally fine as well. I was mostly geared trying to get up over to level 80 because I knew of this quest of the Ebony Warrior that came after you once you reach level 80. And I was like, alright, yeah, I would definitely want to see this guy. So, anyway, I just like getting ranked up there, but in order to do that, you are going to go legendary on your stuff. And then I think I've gone like legendary on my sneak like 3 or so times. So once you go legendary, put you down to level 15, everybody's like, hey, I hear, they hear you, but it doesn't take long to get ranked back up again. So the one thing I would not recommend going legendary on is your speech. If you get your buying power up there, you may not want to do that, only because having your merchants, being able to have, a lot of money is going to be very beneficial to you because you're constantly got stuff that you need to sell. So that might be the one item that you might not want to go legendary on, although I did do it once or twice myself. There comes a point where you can invest $500 into a merchant and they have more money to buy items from, or they got the ability to buy like stolen items and they have more stuff to sell you as well. But like when it came to the weapons, I never went legendary like on my bow. When I got that up to 100, I'm like, I'm not going back to the beginning on that. So that always stayed at 100, and then the two-handed and one-handed, I did have points on it, but I never actually got to 100 to where I would want to go legendary, and I would never do that. But the enchanting and smithing are pretty much the ones that are the easiest to do, because enchanting, like I said, you're constantly picking up enemy weapons. It doesn't matter their value or whatever. And if you play like I do, whether it's a sword or bow and arrow or whatever, or you're doing a lot of soul trapping, while you're running around all the merchants, I always buy all the soul gems. It doesn't matter what levels they are. The little ones, the big ones, they're empty or not empty, And then I would just constantly, when I'm killing things, I would, get those soul gems built up. And just enchant the enemy stuff, just a regular iron sword, enchant it with whatever, fire or whatever, and then just sell it. So your enchantment went up real high, real fast. So that's kind of how I got ranked up as high as I can. And like I say, the downside is that you do burn up some time messing around with that. You're like, all right, I gotta go find a table, and now I gotta go sell it all off, and then so yeah, some time is involved doing all that. But once you like, obviously, if you got cribs, then you most likely put an enchanting table there, and then if you know the areas well, like if you're going to Whiterun and you don't have one, you know to go to the castle. There's one in there, and then uh, I want to say Winter. No, it's not Winterhold. The other city where the other guy's at the king there, Ulfric or whatever. Can't think of that stupid city's name.
Amazing.
But anyway, the one merchant there, she's you do something for her for the Thieves Guild, and she becomes one of your main merchants. There's a enchanting table right behind her, and any of the merchants for the Thieves Guilds are my go-to people. They'll buy anything, and they always have like 4,000, and that just comes from doing all the Thieves Guild stuff. And so, like, all right, over Solitude, you got that one dude. You do stuff for him, and he's like, you fast travel right to where the bar is. You go in, he's always there. You're like, sweet. And you just wait a little bit, or get it to daytime. You got the two merchants there, the lady, and then you got the potion person there as well. And then you got over at Marthkarth, the one dude that's a silver guy. You do some quest for him, and he's a merchant, and he's always walking around the outside area. So once you travel in there and it's daytime, he's always walking around, and you can sell off $4,000 worth of stuff to him. So it's just like when you learn the game, you know those things. And the only thing is, like, almost a lot of the cities will have a house to buy, but you have to do things for the king to kind of say, all right, man, you need to be known in my hold. You got to help a certain amount of people. You need to do my quest and that kind of thing. And then the ability to buy a home in his area will come available, or to buy a house. Okay, so number 22 is under the docks here. Yeah, after having the dragon key so long, I don't know. Like I said, I was really up there in the levels. I put some points to the lock picking, and I would not recommend going legendary on that, because once you get up your lock picking that high, you would not want to go back down again. Especially with the enchanting and the smithing. I mean, you can totally rank up just doing those two, and eventually you'll get the weapons you need, and there's no sense going any further.